morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Zwift Racing League presented by WTRL. We are out on the Greatest London Flat for race number 8. I'm Nathan Garrett, Dave Dole next to me, and this is going to be a battle, that's for sure. We've seen it all day long, people qualifying for the playoffs for the Premier Division as well as upgrades to the next categories, Dave. It's been really exciting, and this course is very difficult. It's really blown a lot of teams apart. It wasn't, we talked about it being really, really difficult, just trying to hang on a little bit last week, Dave. There was a little conversation about kind of being just a drag race, kind of super flat. We had talked about it, but as we watched throughout the day, especially the kind of getting going, the splits have been interesting because it's been negative splits consistently across, which tells me up front, this course is actually a little more difficult than we thought. Oh, are you muted there, Dave? Just double checking here real
I
quick.
apologize. I
All good.
was. So I have to say, Nathan, that this course seems, I thought, so typically you're racing the competition and the course. But because of the high stakes out here, I think teams have been baited into going out too hard. Well, we've seen some of that, right? They have a lot of ambition, and it can be really hard to hold that schedule that they've been setting. Some of the teams, I mean, if you've really got this dialed, those negative splits that you're talking about, which basically means you're going faster at the end, which is so hard to do in an event like this. I mean, to put it into layperson speak, anyways. It is really, really challenging to finish this race with, as you're emptying out the tank. Now, I love the excitement in your voice when we realized what we've got going on in this division here. Is we've got some great racing to watch tonight. In particular, here there's a couple of teams that are in a battle to get into the battle royale. That will be the teams that are trying to ascend up into the Premier League. I wish every racer out there good luck tonight. I hope you've got the game that you've been working so hard to develop. It's been a long season, Nathan. 8th race, final race here. So wow, here we go. Greatest London Flat.
Let's take a really quick look at the course then, and we'll jump on over toward the standings that you were talking about there, Dave. But in the course, you watched this yesterday, and what I was talking about is these little bumps that you see over and over again. From that start, immediately going along the river there's a couple of little gradients over and over again. Then they jump into Trafalgar Square. It doesn't really flatten out from there. It's kind of lots of false flat situations over and over again, which
Yeah.
can cause a lot of mayhem amongst the team. Then I think that second 16K split, as you see it flatten out on those sections, I think that's why we have that negative split happening almost consistently across the board on that 16K, then into the Surreys, and then it's up and out of the tube. That really puts the sting in the back end, as you would say, in the tail of this course. And then from there on out, you back into the square and over toward the mile one more time with an uphill finish. Actually falls flat, 1 to 2% gradient, lots of sprints into the end. So that's it, 31.04K. 164 meters of climbing, so not pan flat, that's for sure.
Yeah, the way that those 164 meters are served up, Nathan, if you are the rider who has just finished your hard pull before you hit the two features that you were talking about there, that's where you want your strongest rider finishing their pull, to tell you the truth. And timing that is part of doing recon. And part of doing recon is a huge aspect of, if you want to go to the highest level, you have to do extra work. No matter how talented you are, it's getting out there with the team and looking at this course. Sometimes it's challenging to organize that. I can understand how for a lot of teams, it's amazing to make. Think how many folks don't make 8 weeks in a row of their bowling league or their book club on Monday nights, right? But our folks don't miss a step out there. So we really do appreciate everybody out racing. And, well, it's going to be a real throwdown, Nathan. There's no doubt about it. I think that this course, I have to give Charlie credit. Talking about him yesterday, all of the courses were really well thought out. And I like the fact that what we're racing on here tonight, it really, I say it a lot, I realize, but we'll find a worthy winner for you. But we really will. This is not a fancy course. There's nothing about this that's mind blowing. This is good old school fury, I would say. Let's get it on.
Let's take a quick look here before we head down. We do have 4.4K in with our first women's team out. We won't get splits until the 8K mark. we'll get an idea of how things are going here in just a moment. But let's take a look at where they stand as we come into the racing here to get an idea of what the battles might be throughout the night here in the Americas East. It is going to be Team Riot at the top against Abskway Finesse now at 135 and 136. Egowatt there at 121 in third. It's going to be Cryogen Gallopin in fourth with 119. Wadi Inc. Super Kitty 107 with a battle for fifth and sixth between them and Sisu I Race Like a Girl Do. Stages Cycling WA there at 99. Royal City Cycling in eighth. And then it's going to be Core Sports in ninth. And Misunderstood, they're sitting in that 10th spot, Dave. So that is going to be a battle at the top. They've been back and forth. Egowatt were chomping at the bit a little bit for a while, but slid back now at the back end of the season here. But I'd definitely be watching out for Egowatt there for season 3 for sure. In the B category, ATP Stingers at the top.
Yeah, 136 points. So they've got a clear gap. It should be smooth sailing out there today for the super strong ATP Racing Stingers. This has been an impressive season. So that leaves the Agawatt experience. You know, Nathan, I saw a lot of chatter on socials today, and one of the things that really cracked me up was the Agawattage Cottage. That's what they're in that mode. Hashtag mode experience. All right, 124 points, and then you can see it's going to be really fun racing tonight. Herd of Hummingbirds and Cryogen Marie Blanc. Those two teams are tied on points right now in third. That leaves Les Watts Sisters, JZQ small c-b. I feel like I'm online with the IRS. 110 there for points. Agawattage Extra in 6, CCNS Ladies. And these teams then will have a chance to put together a great ride tonight. Sisu I Race Like a Girl, the Freya edition with 87 points in 8th. And then Spin 'em and Buns, fantastic name. And Fearless Furiosas in 10th. So this is it. I'll throw it back to you, Nathan, for the C's.
And it's going to be Herd of Otters 134, battling ATP Racing 5 for those, Hive, in those top 2 spots. Only 1 point difference again, so be on the watch out for that. Egowatt Fire there, 130. Then a little bit of a gap down to Revo Doves there, followed up by Tsunami, loving that. Margaritas are in there as well at 6th place, and it's going to be Wadi Ink Flash. They're tied, actually, for 6th and 7th. Between Wadi Ink Flash and Margaritas. CCNS Merry Cranksters in 8th at 95 points. No Drama Llamas in 9th. Followed up by Seesaw Race Like a Girl at Atalanta. That is the situation for the C's.
Right now with the D's, you can see it's going to be a close battle. And this one could go a lot of different directions. I love that we've been checking in with the D's, and it's Herd of Blistering Bobcats. Love the alliteration, and 121 points. That's top of the table. Revo Kit Kat's 118 right now, only 2 back then to third, which is the mighty WTRL Drafting Dinos 1. They've got 1 point right now ahead of Les Watts Sisters. Then you've got Llama Stay, part of the Llama conglomeration there in 5th, 112 points. It's so close all the way through because a herd of Blazing Bobcats sitting just 1 point behind them in 6th. Lot to race for out there tonight. ATP Racing Buzz in 7th. WTRL Drafting Dinos 2 in 8th. Then you got Seesaw Race Like a Girl Pele. It's a great documentary on Netflix, by the way, in 9th. And Herd of Bounding Bobcats, the third of the Bobcat squads out here that make their way into the top 10. It's not a Sisu documentary, it's a Pele documentary, but I love the name. I love the racing. Have at it, ladies. We'll be checking in tonight.
They need a cameo. They need a cameo in the second
Yeah,
one.
they should. Pele would be honored.
In the men's/mixed America's East Division 1, next with a dominating performance, looking to make it 8 for 8. But then Cryogen Alpduez there with 119 up against ATP Racing Hydrogen. This is what we were talking about at the beginning in our pre-production. And this is going to be a battle to watch out for. To be honest, I do not know between these two teams who is the better team time trialist. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out today. Cryogen have been on fire lately when it comes to team time trials in general. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, ATP Racing Hydrogen, I think, as a team, though, on the socials and how tightly knit they are, would be really surprised if they haven't been doing their homework. So, Endurance Works there at 114. Cannondale Echelon presented by 4i there is going to be in 5th. Royal City Cycling at 100 points in 6th. Vision Americas East in 95 points in 7th. And it's going to be WTRL Supersonics in 8th, followed up by ZHQ Rockets A with 81 points in 9th. And rule number 5, HTFU, is in 10th.
All right, so we get a look at the Bees now, and it's the Dirty Ducks who've had a really strong season here coming into the 8th and final race. 138 total points. That's pretty close to perfect. In second is ATP Racing Neon, 127 points, so there's a little bit of daylight between them and On the Rivet, Oost B. 116 points for them in third. Dirty Diesels, 4 points back in fourth. BMTR B2, 109 points. So that's close enough that it's going to be fun to watch. Just need a little bit of help if you're BMTR in fifth. Cryogenetica in sixth. Rouleurs Polo Velo, seventh. WTRL Bombers in eighth. Gotham Grinders sitting in ninth right now and rounding out your top 10. Nice to see the Rhinos there. RR Northern Rhinos. So, Nathan, that's the Bs. How are the Cs doing?
Yeah, in the C category, there is a battle with ATP Racing Hydrogen and the herd of Mad Mustangs, but it's going to be a tough one. They got to put a lot of bodies in between that first and second to make any kind of changes. But second and third, it's only 4 points there. That's a 5-place difference. If Herd Mentality can really get on top of their game today, get a really solid effort, and then maybe a few other teams as well. We saw it over and over again. We ended up eating our words throughout the day. It became so close. Literally a 1 spot difference was the difference between somebody making it and not making it, and lots of good results out there. So, if it's mathematically possible, be on the watch out. It might happen.
Yeah.
In the fourth there, ATP Racing Freon there, and at 111, Apogee there racing in fifth for 107 points. RR Nuclear Rhinos in sixth, Dirty Grinders in seventh, WTRL SQL very close, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th with Dirty Time to Grind at 85 points. So really it's that 8th, 7th, and 6th place could all change on the day. Cryogen Sacalabra in 10th. That is the situation for the C's. And lastly but not least, before we get into the racing here, what's going on in the D category?
Well, Nathan, the Dirty Dogs have been fantastic all year long. Look at that, 139 points right now to top the table, 121 for ATP Racing Helium. In third is High Speed at 119. So you can see it's only 2 points separating second and third. Team Type 1 Beta Cells, 116 back. So they're in the conversation. Great racing out here. In fourth, Herd of Fighting Frisians in fifth. Herd of Dashing Destriers in sixth. Herd of Dainty Paints in seventh. Herd of Plowing Percheron in 8th, Z-Sun Bums for 9th, Wadi Inc. Patriot for 10th, and there you have it. That's a look at where we are at after 7 of 8 days of racing, our third team time trial of the season, 31 kilometers and about 160 meters of climbing. The teams have really been put to the test, and this should be Jane Tullis that we're looking at now, Nathan. So some splits coming in. It looks like Misunderstood with the 12:15 would be the quickest through that 8K check.
Yeah, and it is going to be Mary in there, as you were talking about just to start off with. They were the first ones out on course, and they are coming in with a solid 13:37. But Misunderstood really smashing that. Led by Cycling Strong there at 13:09. That's the first checks that we have in. They were caught, it looks like, by the absolutely flying, I believe this is going to be the Misunderstood team, hanging out in the Alienware kit with Cindy, Courtney, Kelly, Janny, and is that going to be? Tullis is not going to be riding for them, though. So they were just caught, I believe, from Marion Cycling just a few moments ago. They are keeping them within sights, though, which, there's a little bit of a carrot now for them to be chasing. But here comes, that is actually going to be Misunderstood. That's the Z-Sun kit, excuse me, of course. I was a little bit off there, not understanding what I was even looking at. Catching both of these teams and coming flying right on by. As Pritam here now, 5 watts per kilogram. And this is one of those little bumps I was talking about. They leave the mall, head on over toward this back end of the city. This has a solid 4%, now 2%, 1% gradient. There's a downhill here into the underground, another uphill grind immediately after that. So they did looks like drop Holmes off right there, 3.4, right on the edge here.
She's coming back,
Dave. 16 meters. This is downhill. Gonna be tough.
I have a feeling they are just pausing for a moment here. You hate to lose a rider that strong this early. This is interesting, and this is what Team Time Trial is all about here, folks. This is a moment. You're going to go through a few of these, and I hate to say, this is a huge effort here.
Right
It
here, it's a
really,
little
this is
uphill grind right for a second here at this 1%. It's an
jump up,
opportunity. She
jump
needs
up.
to
She's
throw,
got it.
yeah, 4 quick. But the speeds, nope, there's just too much speed here. Look, 26 meters, 27 meters. It continues to go out.
Nathan, yeah, it's tough. I almost think on the team, so they're on Discord. These riders, most likely, I should say, are able to communicate, so they have to make a decision. Usually, Nathan, you have a captain who will make that call. In real life, it'll be a director back in a team car who's not pedaling a bike, and the oxygen should be flowing just well. It's been argued by riders before that it's not, but the director should be fit, ready to make good calls out there as to whether you do wait or not. And it would depend on who the rider was and what the situation was. This is one of the really, really strong teams, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to wait around here. They're gone. The train left the station.
And that's the problem when you have those downhill situations. The pack, it just speeds up so incredibly fast to get away from you. You have to be able to do 2 to 3 watts per kilogram more than the pack that's riding away from you at that point. She was only doing about 1 watt per kilogram. Quickly, the seconds went right on out from her. And at this point, maybe they can soft pedal a little bit. We did see about 3 to 4 watts per kilogram on that downhill from the riders saying, okay, well, we'll soft pedal a little bit here. But the moment they start heading uphill, huge amounts of speed could be lost. They cannot do that. They got to continue on.
And I got to say, Nathan, it's sort of like an executive decision. Once you make that decision, you don't start rethinking that 2K later and wait. You know what I mean? Once you're on it, you are gone. And even if that rider is able to hold at 100 meters, it's still, they've been going through so much to just hang on back there. Such an interesting discipline when you look at it. So it is worth noting here now that this Z-Sun-R team, let's take a look at that split, because we're going to start looking, I think it's 16K pretty quick here, but Team Riot's gone through very close with Crouch and Gallopin, just 3-second difference there. So that's tight. One's more second back to the Agawatt, so they're on their A game today. We've got an Abske Finesse also now sitting in 4th, and they are only 9 seconds back. 4 teams within 9 seconds, only a little more back to Stages. Boy, they've found their rhythm. Stages Cycling WA, good job there, as they're sitting in 5th right now at 52, 54. So remembering the 11:39 fastest time. Look how many squads are within striking distance. As Waddy Inc. Super Kitty in 6th there at this check. We're going to refresh this though, Nathan. All right, so this is Z-Sun-R here, and Pritam that we're looking at. They're in the heavy rotation right now. I mean, this team's on the gas. It's going to be very, very close today.
12:15 is the time here coming in for the Z-Sun. As you can see, that 12:09 is 6 seconds back, or 6 seconds up with the Seesaw I Race Like a Girl. We're starting making our way through some of these riders here to get, or some of these teams here to get an idea of where they're standing, how they're looking compared to what we see on the splits here at this point. Right here, we are looking at, it looks like the Core Sports now making the chase. And they currently are sitting in that 12:32, trying to chase down the Royal City team. A little bit behind them, it is going to be the Stages team. Sheehan's in here with Blessing. It's going to be Harris Momsen. And then not KMB. Jurish is in here, and Koi as well. Is that going to be Ashley Koi that you were saying?
I wasn't saying. You're talking about Stages here. I am. Let's jump in because it is Ariel Koi. Sorry there. Yeah. Yeah, this is you're right to ask me that, Nathan. This is a Colorado-based team. Stages is actually based, they make the crank arm power meters, along with other things. They make a lot of really cool stuff that is right in line with what we're doing here with esports, and it's great to see them having a strong team. The entire team, Ariel Coy, C. Harris Momsen, Nicole Jurish, Paisley Sheehan, who I've mentioned a bit. She's up in Montana. Her dad is a great friend of mine. Rachel Plessing is the other rider on that squad. Nice to see. They've really been esports and team time trialing. WTR in WTRL invented this in the world of Zwift, and they have refined it week after week. We're coming up very quickly on the 100th week of racing. I think Martin said it was 98th week here. And I hope we're back with our broadcast this week. I've seen a lot of people commenting, and we're certainly planning on it. I hope.
It looks like
Yeah.
we are good to go on that.
Oh,
If we're
good.
doing a
That's
time
great.
trial now at this point, so live data seems to be coming through. That was the main holdup on that. Brewer now pushing 5-1 on the front, 283 watts, 150 beats per minute. Nice little dig at 48 kilometers per hour. Core Sports trying to hold them off at 46, though. You can see the speed differences as you see here between the two teams. 46 versus Brewer's there with 45, so slowing a little bit on the front, but that's only because I think she's done with her pole. Harris going to come through with that 48 and continue to close down that gap to that next team.
Pretty well done here. Nice job, Stages, as we've got three teams within about 10 seconds of each other out on course. It looks like our first pass is coming up here. Well, these teams have come a long way as far as this goes. It can always be a little bit sticky. There's a lot of factors here as we'll see how this one goes. But Stages on a great ride out here today. You can see they were fifth at that split. They might even be better than that out here if they're catching teams. That's obviously a really good sign. This is America's East Division 1 that we're in with, and I do want to, as we watch these squads, this will be interesting, Nathan, because there's not that much speed differential between these two teams. As you can see, it's not like they're flying up on them here, right? They're moving about half a kilometer per hour faster, this is where you start to see that cross-pollination of squads and where you really are relying. I hope we get a good example of Stages needs to push the accelerator down on the floor. And for a moment, who is this that we're catching here?
It can be the Core Sports. So
they need to just sit, if possible, just back off for a moment to allow a clean pass. One rider through.
Harris just accelerated like a maniac there, like speed demon.
She's got it. Yeah, it looks like somebody stepped on a watermelon seed and it just shot through there, right? Looks like the rest of the team's getting through okay, Nathan.
It looks like it's going to happen here. Core's going to back off just a little bit. Good on them. Now Stages hopefully not too in the red after that. 184 beats per minute currently coming from Harris Mompson. So solid effort to get through there. But quickly, I wanted to point out Stages were the 7th seeded out there today, or top 7 overall. So they started pretty far back. Currently, if we are looking at their performance on the day, though, they definitely are outperforming themselves, currently sitting in that 5th place overall, beating out currently Seesaw Race Like a Girl, as well as that Wadi Inc. So this is a really big ride coming in from them. I mean,
they're catching another team, Nathan. This is unbelievable today.
I think they've really put something together. And early on, I remember, Dave, you actually mentioned that be on the watch out for this team once they really figure out the game. I remember you specifically saying that this team was going to have some solid efforts that maybe not really in their in real life shape yet because it is over winter break. You were mentioning that they were just getting, their feet wet into this TTT type thing. And now look at this, 5-1 on the front, passing multiple teams, currently sitting in 5th overall. This is the front end of this race too. They're within 20 seconds of a team like Riot. This is very impressive from this Stages team.
This is unbelievable. Yeah, well, I'm really happy to. So this is exactly what you want to see. I just saw from WTRL Martin chiming in a compliment, and that is rare. Not that Martin's negative. He's great, but for him to say, wow, this team, he said, great job. And I completely agree. Ariel Coy, we're looking at now. Well, here you go, Nathan. You don't just show up overnight. You were the first person that really, really opened my eyes to this is with esports. There is a really steep learning curve. If you've got the physical ability, you still aren't going to be all the way there until you learn how to play the game and understand just the landscape that you're operating on. That's Paisley. Good job, Paisley. Look at this now. As this is a 22-year-old. She was a triathlete that grew up in Boulder, Colorado. Her brother, Riley, races professionally for Sojo-san, which is a pro-continental team in France. That's a big deal. to be racing at that level. There's only a dozen Americans a year that make that jump, not even a dozen, that make that jump of racing domestically to get onto a professional European team. So she's got cycling in her DNA without any doubt. And let's see. So this is Royal City. We love this team. Guelph is one of our. It's funny how some of these stories seems like they're years ago, Nathan, when we were learning about where Guelph was. But and that's what Royal City is. This team has been really fun to watch. Let's see what we've got here.
So RCC, we're at that 12:22 at the last checkpoint. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick refresh here, get an idea of where things stand now at this last checkpoint for them. Royal City now coming in at 23:25, 22:55 for Stages. So they were caught, actually, I think, and I think Stages went by them. Now Stages really slowed down just a tad. So now there's a little bit mixture of the teams here. They're going to have to really, one of the teams is going to have to really figure out where they're going to stand here and push right on through. A little bit of a battle now for the road because they can't really be sitting like this for too long. The climb here is really going to be the thing that's going to speak, I think, to who's got the power right now. Royal City now, it looks like, are really starting to turn it on. They're going right on through Marion, and at 5 watts per kilogram, I think, they have told each other just everything you got to get away from Stages as they go through that Marion cycling team.
Yeah, it's funny. I have matured as far as just watching this right here. I would have been losing my mind a couple of let's say 6 months ago, with what teams needed to do, and you would have said differently. And I now really agree with you. Is that listen? That was a little bit sticky. It wasn't exactly pretty. Stages tried to make the pass. They had been going so hard, Nathan, that I think they kind of just the engine sputtered a little bit, right? They didn't have the ability to cleanly go by this team. Royal City's been pacing themselves differently out here. So obviously, Stages went out hot. They've been doing a great job. They're actually killing it, to be honest. But there's limits to what you could do. And sometimes you start getting out in front of your skis a little bit, right? Now, I have a feeling, though, Stages, once they're able to catch their breath here, they're probably going to come back by again in the next couple of minutes, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, this plays out here. Royal City now, a little bit of a mess happening here. Alexandra Coates off the front for Royal City A now, 2.6, having to back off, not really assisting the team too much. And Stages now making another push, but I think they're starting to drop a few riders because of it here. As you do see Coy. Now Brewer looking back. It looks like it is going to be a couple of riders falling off. They might have to just let these riders go, though, and they will be doing so in order to get through. That might have been the issue, is that they were having to wait up a little bit there. Ariel Coy now, you do see at the front, 4.5 watts per kilogram. Coates having to back off. Harris Momsen, another, if your group is caught, drop back. Well, I mean, you do need to drop back, but at the same time, there's a reality of if they're strong enough, they can go right on by you. So you gotta. I mean, there's a give and a take there. You know.
And you called it perfectly. I mean, what you just said. What? Okay. These four now are clearly in a rhythm. They're having an incredible day. Ariel Coy on the front right now. They have a couple teammates that maybe Paisley Sheehan's up here too. So you can see that a couple riders were struggling a little bit. That was the problem. If they tried to keep all six together, they couldn't get through that cleanly. It got a little bit messy there. No one's fault. And Royal City's not messing around. They didn't show up to do anything but race their butts off tonight, right? So it's all sorted itself out now. The four that were able to go at the pace that they can maintain, they're now alone. They've got 11K left to do this. That's not absurd, Nathan. I completely think you called that right there. And now these four have lost a couple teammates, but they're going to be posting an incredibly fast time. It's faster to do it this way than to wait for the other two.
And now with 9 seconds, I don't think we're going to have that situation again at this point.
Thanks be to God.
Yeah. And so now starting to look at some of the faster times throughout the day, though, we do see only a 8 seconds difference between Riot and Crouch and Gallop in there. Agawatt there. Absolutely Finesse not having the day that they would usually have, in my opinion, with a 22:51. Perhaps.
Well, I did want to just mention this has been a super strong team. It's tonight's our last race, so I just want to make sure I got a lot of names out there because Kaylee Boyle, Catherine Monks, one of the standouts, without any doubt. Catherine, you're super impressive racer. Christy Neld, Paige Bolt, Ryan McGee, Sarah Bishop, and Tara Cole Freder. Tara's been a great addition to our esports racing here. This mom, who former pro and huge talent. So it's great to see. Maybe not on a great day, so I don't know how much more
Four
time we're going to be
riders.
talking about
Four
them. Yep.
riders. Yeah, so perhaps there that might be it as well. If we did, also give a thought to the reality of their current standings with only a 1 point difference, they know they just have to get out there and finish. Perhaps something else needs happening in real life. Maybe resting up or training specifically to try and get through this weekend. If you want some fresh riders, they are going to be in the playoffs, and Europeans, some insanity watts over there. So they're going to have to go up against
Yeah.
some of the best teams in the entirety of the world. So perhaps with them being with a solid 135 points currently, uncatchable without barring any kind of craziness, perhaps letting a few of the riders just chill out on the day.
Yeah, completely agree. How much does Tara Freder love cycling? Her husband Jonathan races with us too. They named their daughter Madeleine after Col de Madeleine in France. I thought that was an extremely cool, fitting, beautiful name. And that right now, that little baby is sitting there watching mom race. Is that not the kind of role model you want for young people? I love it. I love what's happening with all the moms and dads that we have out here racing. Nathan, again, this is Abscape Finesse that we're looking at. Nathan has dialed up Tara Freder here.
Now we do see
Tara
that
also went
Riot
to.
did make a catch on the day, I think. If we do look at this, if I'm not incorrect, is Riot being the top team. So they've gone
They
ahead and
deserve a
made their way
shout.
through. So
Yeah,
Easler,
so
Grossman, Rathwell, Cameron, Gagnon, all here. And 5 riders on the day that have shown up to race and having a really, really solid ride here.
Grossman at 5.1 watts per kilo there. Are you hip to the phenomenon that is Christina Grossman's playlists? Here we go. Gagnon coming
190
out of
beats
the
per
group.
minute. Yeah, it's all said and done, and that's kind of that you can see the limit that's on right there. And at this
Yeah.
point, they're more than halfway through the race. 5 at the front, and very crucial moment here at 2% uphill grade. And I think letting a rider go with 4 seconds at this point, Gannon's going to have to just roll it in, and Grossman's going to continue on at 4.6.
Yeah, and 10K to go. So be it. Just stay positive. Just keep doing what we're doing. It's working really well. Claire Cameron there, the Canadian rider, super strong. It's Evelyn Gagnon that we were just talking about, who's a real fighter, a super talent. She'll be back. Janine Perron, Christina Grossman. The playlist. Have you seen any of these, Nathan? Christina Grossman is an executive for Republic Records, which is that's where The Weeknd and maybe you've heard of Taylor Swift, where they work. I'd say fairly successful in what they do.
Who are you talking about? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and her playlists are maybe the best I've ever seen in my life, and they're themed to the event. Like when we'd be at RGV, there would be a French theme. It was just cool stuff, and it speaks to the community, right? What these teams are doing. This is Riot. That's formerly Sarah's the Pros Closet. So just to remember, if you remember them in that green and yellow, this is the same team, same operators out here, same motivation, under the direction of our colleague and friend Anna Russell.
I'm going to jump on over to the men's race here real quickly. They're out on course. There's a pretty close start time between the two races. So because of those really close start times, we do end up with a little bit of overlap, but we will get an idea of where the splits are at. Everyman Jack team is out on course. The first ones, I believe, to get out on course here. And we'll start seeing some splits coming on in here for them in just a... So actually, we do have a pretty good amount of splits, actually. So let's go ahead and jump on in with them, get an idea where things stand, and see how things are playing out, because there was that ATP Racing Hydrogen versus in the standings excuse me if I just real quickly here, it was Cryogen Alpe d'Huez versus ATP Racing Hydrogen. So let's get an idea of where that is all at, and whether or not we're going to have a battle on our hands. I'm assuming things are going to be full gas.
I mean, that's just this has brought out the best in all of our teams out here. I love the fact that the teams that have been doing WTRL on Thursdays have a decided advantage. There were quite a few teams, Nathan, that were disappointed to see the team time trial move from 4 to 3, and plenty of teams weren't, because there are some squads that really struggled with this discipline. It is a challenge to get this all figured out, and I don't think you ever completely get it all figured out, because it's like chess. There's always going to be new things happening out here. When I saw this team name, Nathan, every man Jack, for some reason it made me think of a Clash album name. It just seems very hip. So we take a look at Every Man Jack here. Borowick.
It's
They're moving.
definitely a great album name. I'd have to agree with that 100%. I have
Yeah.
no idea what you're talking about when it
I have
comes
no
to
idea either.
Clash, like, so.
I don't know why either at all. And it's not like the Clash are making records. It's only been, 35 years or something? But anyways, that's besides the point. You know me and my references, right? We're pretty stuck in the mid 80s from Donkey
Mike.
Kong.
No Mike, Abbott. Abbott Racing says no Mike, so he's got a chat here. Uh-oh. Most likely, so just so everybody knows, that most likely is going to be a Discord issue where he cannot communicate over
Yeah.
on Discord right now.
So are they yelling at him, or does he want to yell at them? I wonder.
It's one of the two. One of the two. He's going to end up in a Nathan situation of frustration in the middle of his TTT, not knowing what is happening here, and all kinds of hand gestures going which way and that way. Graves Fire now toward the front. This is going to be BMTR hammering away, and they currently are sitting in that 10th place, it looks like, with a 10:54. The racing is very close here, it looks like, in these top spots right now. Everyman Jack just coming through at the 8K. I'm going to swap that up for just a second, though, and try and get a better idea of that 8 kilometer mark so that we don't get that 16 right away just yet. At 11:39, it looks like, no, excuse me, that's going to be the women's here I was looking at. Sorry about that. It's actually going to be a 10:26 coming in from that Royal City. Then 10:35 from ATB Racing Hydrogen. Cryogen up the Wes with the 10:35. So tied up, actually. That's the battle.
Wow.
It's Hydrogen and Alba Tuez.
They're
That
tied.
is the battle. They're tied. They're literally tied in the standings at 119 and tied at that 10:35 right now. And
So-
it's whoever takes the spot ahead of the other one today. This is crazy. This is an amazing battle happening.
The world's worst announcer right now would say these teams are very evenly matched. Right?
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Exactly. That's going to be fantastic racing to watch between them. And to tell you the truth, if they are that close now, there is no reason, and I'm going to guess they're watching the broadcast. I wanted to even mention earlier, I was going to say how the director sportives have come a long way out here, and you can really see it in the way that these teams operate as well. So, wow, this is incredible racing. Again, as I was saying yesterday, team time trialing has become the most thrilling spectating sport for us on this end of things, and for the teams doing it, man, do they dig deep. All right, ATP, we're talking about this squad, and they look dialed right now. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, it's such a simple day of racing. There's no bonuses. There's no power-ups. There's the whole squad. J-Boz.
They've showed up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders. They got 6 riders on the day. They are
They're all
going
here.
really well at this point, it looks like. At the front now, it's going to be Charlton. Thomas now coming on through, 5.8 watts per kilogram coming from him. And solid effort, 448 watts, actually. They're really rolling through 51 kilometers per hour here. Now, I'm trying to look back here. Cryogen at 45 seconds now. Little bit bunched up. Matthias now making his way to the front. Lost the riders there for a second, everybody. We'll get back to them. Everyman Jack, for some reason, really wants to be on screen, it looks like. Good to see them. These
They're
guys
that
again.
good.
They're just that good. Back here with Boz and ATP now. Cryogen here with Tabalong. It's going to be Fij. Lewandowski is there with Sararka as well. Matthias now to the back. 50 kilometers per hour coming from them currently. Now looking back here, 46. They're going to slow down most likely through the same section. Well, actually, this 46 I think is not representative of what's being happening here. It's going to be 10 on the front at 48 kilometers per hour.
This is where if I were a director with a couple of these teams, Nathan, I would be saying, guys, chill out a little bit, stay organized. Let's keep our heads together here. We've got a long way to go. We're only through the middle point of this race right now. You're doing a great job. Let's just keep doing what we do well. And it looks like they're starting to reorganize here. You get a little too excited sometimes, Nathan. And it's really, really challenging when you're in a team time trial because the problem is the little gaps that you open up they turn into a nightmare for your teammates. And that's why just steady, smooth. These guys are generating a lot of power. It's deceptive when you're sitting at home watching. You don't realize how deep in the pain cave they are. You don't get any deeper. And we're back in with ATP now. This is going to be fun. HTFU, I wonder what that stands for. At 2035 is our fastest time. A 2053 for SLF Motion right now. So you can see that it's much closer back to Dirt Alert. Only 1 second there from Motion to Alert. HTFU standing out today at that halfway point, basically, a little past at 2035, the fastest time at the check.
Trying to get some idea of how these two teams are comparing with their speeds at this point. 49 kilometers per hour. You do see 48 kilometers per hour. See if it ramps up just a tad here from these riders. It does look like a rider coming on through. It's going to be Tabalong there at 48 as well. So they're really evenly matched at this point. You're seeing 48, 49, 30 seconds in on that, just really on the edge there. As you can see, Tabalong there now 8.4, 49 kilometers per hour with another pull through. We do see a little bit more surging on the front from Cryogen here, it looks like. Up into the 50K now at this point. They may be bringing back a little bit of time. This effort right here now, though, as they head over to Surrey, I wonder if it's going to bite them in the back end of this race now. Maybe, as you were saying, getting a little bit excited, 171 beats per minute. How consistent is this team staying? That's going to be the question, right? Because it's not about these little bursts at this moment if it ends up being too many matches burned later on in the race. So, the consistency might pay off from ATP here, even if they lose a second or two. They can't lose too much, though. 5-10 seconds starts to go out at that point, and it's almost impossible to bring back.
It's very hard to make up any time on this course. It really is. It's all about, just keeping the pressure on. You can't. It's relentless, no doubt about it. This is La Raza that we're with, and not too bad here as they're flying.
2021. We're waiting for that next check here. That's the check mark. 10:35. So was the tide between ATP and Cryogen. What's going to come at it? Because this is for a spot in the playoffs this weekend.
How about Royal City Cycling MA1?
They're right out of their skin. This is where did that even come from? Like a crazy result here for Royal City.
I love about elite athletics is every now and then you just have that golden day, and it looks like it's happening for the RCC team right now. But yeah, we got another time. Oh, there it is. 1 second difference. Cryogen, Alpe d'Huez posting a 2021 for Racing Hydrogen at that 16K check. All right, folks, these two teams that are tied coming into the final race, only room for one at the table. So, boy, Nathan, my heart goes out to one of these squads out here today. I mean, it is a heartbreaker to not make it into the knockout rounds that we have coming up.
Yeah, looking at it here, there's the points difference right now. Cryogen, Alpe d'Huez, they were the team ahead, or are ahead, coming in at second place. But ATP Racing Hydrogen currently with 1 second. They got to be watching the broadcast with a little bit of extra energy in the legs now, going, okay, we're doing it, boys. Just continue on with what you're doing. Do not back off. Consistency is the key. Tabalong now pushing. We keep on seeing these punches here from the stronger. I think that this team perhaps has the, I want to say, not maybe the stronger riders when it comes to just pure power, but perhaps not quite the on par depth across the team, perhaps. Maybe I'm incorrect about that. I want to, overspeak, but I have a feeling that the consistency across the entirety of the team of ATP might be something that's really playing out for them, because I'm seeing a very, very close matching between the watts per kilogram between ATP, whereas with Cryogen, I'm seeing a little bit more of a bursty nature to the way that they're riding here. This climb is really going to be the telltale, though. How fast, as a team, that they go through these hills, I think this is going to be the difference maker.
I agree. That one team is going to have a couple second advantage, you would think. Well, boy, as you said, there's so many things that could happen. That's okay. They'll come back together here. The group there has that the physics advantage, right? These two just need to chill a little bit. This is obviously the big concern. I'm trying to look at the sunny side of life. As this again is Cryogen, as we're looking at Adley Tabalong, Andre Matias, Quinn Lewandowski, Ryan Fiji, and then I'm looking for the rest of the squad. I know they're all here, and it's going to be Siarka, Matt Siarka, and Nick Hurd. Matuz Siarka. So, all right, guys, they're going to need to reorganize things. That is a tough moment, Nathan. I hate to rain on their parade, but they need to get their act together here. With a 12K to go, they do not have a good situation for Cryogen.
Got to jump in with Riot here. I'm getting a lot of comments coming on through, and it's absolutely correct to do so because Riot are dominating on the night today. I just saw them overtake 2 or 3 different teams. Agawatt, I saw them go past. It looked like I believe this is going to be, is this going to, not Marion, but one of the team in the Alienware kit here. Agawatt now has been passed by them as well. I mean, Wadi Inc., they're just on a rampage, Team Riot, out here tonight. Something lit a fire with them tonight. And Megan Brathwell, 5.9 watts per kilogram as Grossman sits in. This is going to be the final kick to the line. Absolutely flying out here today.
Wow. Yeah, no doubt. These have been the queens of the East. And they're putting an exclamation point. Whew. Yeah, there's again, this is no surprise, to tell you the truth. This team has really found their rhythm. It looks like a dog's breakfast out there right now as we've got riders all over the place, but we're focusing on this Riot team here. They're going to be bringing it home. So, all right, well, I don't think at the end of this series, this Riot team, Nathan, certainly left an impression.
There she goes. And it's going to be Spaceballs 1. Yeah. Across the line, 9.8 watts per kilogram. Grossman leads the team across. Agawatt not going to be able to stick ahead of them and gets caught by the dominating team out there today. Moving our way backwards a little bit here. Let's see how things are playing out behind. This is going to be mainly drop teams, though. Revo here making their way across the line in just a moment here. But they caught, was that a quarter of the field, perhaps? Maybe 2 or 3. Maybe 4 teams out there today. So Riot, absolute domination. And no changes going to be happening, though, in the overalls too much, for the qualifications for those top 2 spots. It's going to be Absway Finesse and Team Riot going to the playoffs this weekend. May have some changes, though, in the standings lower down, though.
Yeah, no disasters, which is good to say out here. Giving Riot credit where it's due. That's Claire Cameron, the Canadian, her countrywoman, Evelyn Gagnon, French rider, Janine Perron, and then the 2 Americans on the team, Christina Grossman, Megan Easler, and then another Canadian, Megan Rathwell. Great job all season long, ladies. We're back in with the guys now.
And it looks like we did have about a 2 or 3 second gap that did go back out from ATP, maybe mainly to do with the fact that they're on a downhill section through here now. So now they are going into the tube here, the underground in just a second. Going to have that kick at a 15% gradient or so in just
quite a feature.
That may be the next section that really tells us what's happening out here today.
Yeah, I'm going to say it goes to 10% grade, maybe even 12 on that. And we'll see here as... Well, I see a lot of folks out there cheering for Cryogen. What an awesome program that is. I've heard you mention, Nathan, they might be the largest out there. They certainly have a great spirit. And that's one of the cool things about being on Cryogen, too. If you're racing for that team, you're going to have a lot of folks cheering for you out here. This is ATP, correct, that we're with
ATP,
now?
Yep.
And they hit it. We'll watch. Was I right? It went way steeper than I said. Way steeper, 15% grade.
Yeah, up into a 50% gradient. Ken Ray now on the front. It's going to be Boz as well. There goes Cam there, 7.2. Now Laraza trying to get back on terms, 10 watts per kilogram, a little bit of a kick. Now here comes Cryogen. It's going to be their turn. Watch the comparison between the two teams and the way they tackle this here. Tablon
They got
ramping
it
up
back
very
together.
early here. They are catching a few
Well,
more riders, it looks like. And 8 watts per kilogram. Back together, as you're saying there, Dave. All in the orange numbers. And what's the speeds looking like, though?
nice job. Nice work here. Small little gaps will come. They'll weld it right back together here. We got ourselves a bike race, Nathan. Well, a little larger than would be ideal. They're having a little bit of a problem, Nathan, with their riders that are feeling strong right now, applying a little too much pressure. They're blowing their own team up, and I hate to see this. Come on, Cryogen.
Yeah, I need to stick together here. I think there's just the urgency, though. The alarm bells are going off for a few of these riders saying, this is our moment. We have to capitalize on it.
Isn't that... Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? Because they know the pace that they need to be going at to have a chance to win, and that pace is a little too fast for a couple guys on the team. It's kind of that simple.
100%, and they're going to need to figure this out now in this final few K. There's still an opportunity here, but they have to cross with 4. They've dropped a few riders. They need all those bodies, actually, at this point, as long as they've got the power to make it happen here. ATP, 32 seconds up, and they continue to open the gap. It looks like ATP may have done it. We'll have to see, though. Next. Here come Next. Look at the orange numbers coming from Next now from behind. They're just leaving the tube. Watch out for this team for the win out here today. Are they going to go undefeated is going to be the question for that next level.
So to bet against them would be insane, to tell you the truth. This team is as good as they get when you talk about Next. Chris Huberti, right in the middle. Yep.
Greg Gusicki, but Duffy's in there as well. Mullins, and it's going to be that's going to be the 5 riders. Mullins, Catanzaro there as well. So that's the 5 today with the green, mainly green. Looks like we've got one rider who decided to go with an S-Works. That's the setup, in my opinion. I don't know what anybody else is doing out here. Duffy knows what's up.
It's interesting when you look at this Next team. Doesn't it seem like they are ready to jump in with the premiers? I mean, for me, it does. It seems like this is a super... as a matter of fact, remember Duffy on Libby Hill? Exceptional there.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the power to make it happen, that's for sure. You just need to see how it ends up playing out.
Yeah, I see them in the top 10
there.
premier. Yeah, that's the challenge. There's a clear path. You just have to start the journey. And this is one of the teams, though, that is incredibly exciting coming out of our Premier League right now.
Looking through, see if we can find some of the women's...
What is the split for them?
Dave? Yeah, I'm not getting...
looking for the...
Just as of yet. We'll see if we can get something on the next team here in just a moment.
Gotcha.
Seeing if Martin will help us out on the splits for Next.
They've got 7K to go, and I have a feeling that this is out of this world, what they're doing here, Nathan. If you'd run the numbers right now, extrapolate a little bit, this could be more than 30 seconds faster than Royal City, is my guess, on a hunch.
We are looking to see, I know that a lot of viewers are here also for some of the women's other categories. We are looking for them out on course. I did find the D category. For some reason, we're not going to populating with all of the riders that are out on course. We had some names preloaded, ready to go to find all the riders, and we just are having some struggles getting them on the images here. So as soon as we do, we will bring those on over and give you guys, I think we do have some D category that we'll be able to show. I did want to jump in with the C's and the B's, but we are having a little bit of a struggle. There has been some interesting ghosting that has been talked about out there, where some riders have been a part of the race, but they are not seen by... They see everyone, but nobody sees them. And it's been an interesting day for that. I did see earlier Sox Watts had Jane Despas riding the entire time with them, but not actually on screen for us or for the other riders, actually. So interesting little new feature, as we like to call them a lot of times, but tab along here in the front Cryogen, it's still within striking distance,
Not
but I think
everybody's into it.
ATP just need to
Yeah,
hold on at this point.
yeah, interesting. I was wrong. Next is not on an incredible ride today as they come in at 7th fastest time at that check. There they are showing up at the 24K checkpoint. So
Now, is this
my
right?
math was
Cryogen
off.
up to Wes have brought back 3 seconds? I thought ATP Racing Hydrogen were ahead at this point, but I was wrong from the
Uh,
24K mark. Interesting enough.
Well, and sometimes, yeah, that's how hard they're going then, right, Nathan, with Cryogen? They are on, the team is unraveling. It's like a supersonic jet the first time it goes, it's like the first time you go plaid. Not everyone can handle that, right? Well, they're basically going plaid out there when you talk about Cryogen. That's one our inside joke. I shouldn't do that, talking about Spaceballs and going into hyperspace. Well, they are, I mean, it doesn't look pretty, but they're winning that little battle going on right now.
This situation now 42 seconds here at this point. It does look like 4.4 watts per kilogram. We were seeing just a moment ago 7 watts per kilogram was consistent on the front from ATP. What is Cryogen going to throw down as we do see Soraka now to the front? Their DS most likely saying who or how they are going to climb this. They're going to need a steady 7 watts per kilogram, I think, at the front because that's what we saw from ATP. Now here comes Tabalong now at the front. There it is, 9 watts per kilogram. Nice kick there.
And they're hanging with him.
40 kilometers per hour is what he's looking for. Nope, 36 now. It's going to drop a little bit, but going to hold maybe 30. Now increases speed to 37 as it hits 5% gradient here. It's going to be about how fast they come over the top without. And they can let Matthias go at this point. I would say anybody not with us, as long as we got 4, it's all in.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason here. They've got really basically 3K to go. This is going to be close.
Looking at the ATP now with La Raza, 50 kilometers per hour around that corner. We'll see if we can get a check on the speed differentials now as we see 50 kilometers per hour here coming from Lewandowski. His teammates up ahead here. Saraka now 59 kilometers per hour. Tabalong will look at the corner here in just a minute. Is they going to consistency will be key. Will they hold that same speed around the corner in just a moment?
It's certainly not a textbook ride from Cryogen. It's just all.
It's kind of all over the map. Yeah. It's this consistent just pounding on the pedals as Herd ends to the front. 54 kilometers per hour here at this 55. That was a full 2 to 3 kilometers per hour faster than what we saw around that corner coming from ATP. ATP have to step it up now or this race is over.
And you think about the momentum that they've got there with Cryogen. Again, down to 4 riders. This battle royale has come down to this. It's inside of 2K to go here as we're going to go back and forth here. This is our men's A race, WTRL, the badass team. Amato, the rider that we're looking at now. That's going to be Caleb Carl and company. But Royal City Cycling, the fastest ride of the day, sitting on a 30-20 at that last check.
Yeah, good call here. And here they are. I believe this is going to be them. Orange numbers. You can see exactly why. Yamaki here. Now, Luenstra, this is their finishing here. And they're all up into that 50 kilometers per hour in that last 300 meters or so. It looks like they dropped off all, one rider looks like started, I believe, with 6. So solid effort there coming in from them. Moving our way back here. Vision, it's going to be now, and these guys are currently sitting at 6th place with the 31.24, almost a full minute back, though, from what we just saw from Royal City Cycling.
Yeah, boy, this is certainly what a way to end the season for Royal City Cycling. Well, or I should say end the regular season for Royal City Cycling here, this Canadian team. So Vision now, I believe I can see in the haze here in London, the gantry there, 33.1 kilometers of racing out here, and it looks like that finish line, sometimes the numbers vary a little bit. They are going to be done and dusted here.
BMTR dropping a rider off. It looks like Caleb Carl, he's going to probably be on his 500th race of the day. Races every moment of the 24 hours that are in a day as Carl makes his way to line. Carl, I did the out route over the weekend, stage number 2. He literally just rode off the front, bye, see you guys later, and we never saw him again. We were doing 6 watts per kilogram over the Epic. And he still was
Good
like,
grief.
goodbye, see you later, and won solo off the front. Like, just insane. Caleb Carl is a monster. Now Endurance Works to the
Yeah,
line here.
incredibly ambitious race. I mean, he does not shy away from any race out there. I mean, you might see him. Didn't we have him racing 3 times last
Three
week?
times.
In
That might
this?
be today as well. That might be today as well. I would not
Yeah,
be surprised.
absolutely
one bit.
incredible.
This is for all the marbles, though, here, Dave. This is it right now. ATP, every second is going to count. Tablong there, 9 watts per kilogram, as you can see behind, also on the chase. J Boz, 3 seconds was the difference. Will they be able to make that up here? And this is for whether or not they make a playoff spot right now. Ken Ray, the fourth rider across the line. It's going to be La Raza. Now, there it is. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't want to guess here because that doesn't do anybody any favors. Both of these teams have raced their hearts out. So this is going to be cryogen now into the final few meters. It's going to be incredibly close. They could be on the same second.
39.07. Doing only with 4 riders here, though. Third rider. This might be the difference, actually. Lewandowski fading a little bit. Tablong as well.
Back.
Oh, my goodness. And this is it to the line. Tablong one last kick, trying to get his rider there. It didn't really help him out, I don't think. They're actually going backwards like that. Here comes Duffy and the rest, though. This is going to be the team.
This is next, yeah.
That most likely going to be taking the win out here today. Let's see if we can jump back in with you, Birdie, and the rest as it's going to be next.
I'm proud of all the other teams for really stepping up because Next was cleaning up in this division. But today, they might not find the top 5.
Yeah, amazing result. Now, perhaps resting up for the weekend or training a ton for the weekend?
That certainly sounds pretty likely. But the other teams, all
There's also reality. I think this is a
right?
punchy team, though, too. I do think this is a punchy team. I think that they really, they're very, very strong. But I wonder, I have to take a look back at some of their TT. Well,
I
obviously,
honestly think that they're probably resting some. You know what I'm with you.
Yeah,
on
being 140 points consistent. Yeah, you're right. Actually, if I think about it, there's just a reality. Birdie just says, "Well, no, we're not."
They've won every other.
Yeah, they won every other race, so that's just me doing commentator things is what I'm doing. So
devil's advocate, Nathan. Advocate. Yeah. All right. Well, it's been an incredible season.
What are you? All right, looking through D category. Here we go.
Someone has to keep us honest.
This is the real category. Yep. This is where the racing is actually happening. This is where it's at.
Oh yeah. Yeah, these ladies have been awesome out here. So this is Beaver Canoe. So is this
what
going
is that
to
name?
be?
I don't know. That's an
I have
name.
no idea, but it was one of the dinos or the Dinosaurus family.
I saw Llama Stays as well out there. Here come the Blazing Bobcats in the herd kit. I absolutely love this kit. The green and the blue.
Was it
to the line?
Was it last week where you called a
Kim
llama an alpaca?
I didn't call in a llama anything.
An alpaca. All right. That was on the internet.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't think I did.
There's a huge.
I say a lot of things.
Right.
So I'm not sure.
Just like socks for Watts, right, Nathan? The llama they've become the new unicorn. That's a good. That might be their slogan. When you're tired of unicorns, come to llamas. Yeah, the new unicorn, baby. Yep.
Oh man.
Well, these women have a lot of fun. The social element of getting a team together and racing is not lost on me. The commitment and being there for your friends, not letting the team down. They prioritize this on Tuesday nights. And I can't thank you all enough for being out here racing. Without you, there is no ZRL. So keep it up, everybody. It looks like we're in with the Watts sisters. I always thought that was a fun name, too.
Llama Stay having a good ride. Look at that.
Oh, good for nice. Holy cow!
7,
this is their best ride ever. This is their shining moment of season 2
they're the
for
new
Llama Stay.
unicorns. I mean, they heard you, Dave.
The new unicorn.
Before they heard you in the future, before you even said it, they were like,
Nostra Davis. Yeah. ATV Racing Buzz with the 4229, Nathan. So you can see that it's pretty 20-second intervals, basically, separating our teams there.
Blistering Bobcats, blistering the JZQs right on by as they hang out in the herds as well. And Joy at 232, 164 beats per minute right now. And it's going to be GK Johnson coming on through at 157. And
if I was on the blistering Bobcats, I would ask the team to rethink our name. I get the blistering fast, right? But I just feel weird about a Bobcat with blisters.
What? I don't,
just on the bottom of your feet. It would make sense for running, right?
I don't understand. Like, what's the holdup? I don't understand. They're blistering. They're so fast. They're burning everyone else. They're blistering
they're so fast,
everyone
they're blistering.
else. They're blistering everyone else.
They're
Darby blistered. Yeah. Boom. Martinez blistered. Amney blistered. WTRL, they're burned to pieces. All their matches are done.
You're fast. You think you're fast, but you're not blistering fast, right? Exactly. Your skin doesn't even look like you.
Joy is just lighting matches left and right now. As look at this coming through, as it's going to be KO now. Yep.
Well, they are blistering here.
Yeah. See, they even burned. They even burned your. They even burned you there, Dave. Like, no, we're staying blistering. Oh, yeah. 5.2.
It lit it up.
Yep. DD4 now though, trying to catch him. And you're not burning me, but he's got to cool off, it looks like. Gould now to the line, though.
It's two teams
I like
finishing
these little battles.
here.
I like the little battles here. Not, as you would say, no quarter given.
So it looks like Revo Kit Kats were the team to beat from that final check. We'll have a look at all of our results here. I'm sure to see if that held true.
Yeah. We want to see the men's race is still out on course here, and there are a few.
There's Steve Beckett.
Able to catch. Really? Did you see Steve?
Yep, right there in the orange jersey, white helmet. They must have finished up. We'll see how they did. That's the Zwift HQ team.
HQ Ravens.
The good guys. Is it Ravens or Rockets? It would be Ravens, isn't it? The Rockets also race with us. Both super squads.
Awesome finish line that we have here. You see all these. This is all from the TTT. People who are just over their handlebars, absolutely.
So they finished. They finding a bucket, and they haven't logged out of Zwift yet. They probably are just tuning into the broadcast to see what the results look like. There's a lot of folks. I love that you do this as well. We'll go back and rewatch the broadcast after their race. Always hoping for a Nathan shout out.
Looking around to see if we can find some of these other teams out here. We are having a little bit of trouble with it. Do our best to see if we can find some of the other men's teams across the categories. As soon as we
it feels like they're making some progress with the Zwift data, though, Nathan. Things look like they're a little better than so that's nice to see.
Much better.
We all want
the D category here still finishing up. D Doty, a few others. We'll get this on screen here as quickly as we possibly can. There we go. No longer hanging out in the pens there, everybody. That's the hanging out with the avatar look there. That's where I hang out the entirety of the broadcast. Just so everybody knows, that's where all the magic happens, right there. Same thing as in real life racing, right, Dave? That's where you hang out at the start finish line in the pens.
The magic epicenter. Here's our herd of mad Mustangs. Good alliteration once again. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll jump in with the herd of dashing Destriers with the 3950. So this is going to be our Ds that we're looking at now. And so High Speed, the team that Nathan has queued up on screen at a 4017. So they're sitting at second at this moment, or I should say at 24K, and they're almost 4.5K past that right now. Team Type 1, TT1 Beta Cells are only 11 seconds back in third. Dirty Dog sitting in fourth right now. Looks like quite a race going on out here for our Ds once again. Bring it on home, boys.
Looking through, and it looks like the chat's coming on through. I do see a shout out for Beckett here actually in chat. Good to see. I'm also seeing Ryan McGee came in and he said that Made for Fun Racing, two ladies had a technical in the pens actually. So
Uh,
that's what Abscape Finesse. I was wondering there because I was expecting quite the battle between them and the Riot team out there today. So that
yeah,
would be good explanation. So high speed though, as you were saying, 4017, great race from them. This looks pretty settled between a lot of these teams at this
yeah.
point. I mean, anything can kind of happen in the final
Oh,
few K,
they're going to
but
make a catch. It looks like. Oh, are they? Is that
depending.
Beta Cells in front of them?
Frisian. This is gonna be the Frisians. So
Frisians.
that's gonna be the herd of fighting Frisians. 40-42. They have faded a little bit. Well, perhaps what happened there was this has been a consistent catch happening throughout 40-17, 40-42. As you can see the difference there. They probably had
Right.
that 30-ish seconds earlier on, and now they're getting a little bit closer at this point.
Yeah, and it looks like as they come up on the finish a couple K from now, we might see a few teams together there.
Do you
No
see
big deal.
the herd of fighting Frisians is Hoff? That's their that's their
Don't hassle the Hoff.
acronym. Yeah, they are the Hasselhoffs. That's what we're gonna call them from now on. The Frisians are the Hasselhoff as they are looking to try
I
and
cannot
hold off.
believe. So with everything that you've got going on, operating 16 computers and all the screens and the men's and women's races, communicating with Martin and getting the results ready, you still notice that would be Hoff as an acronym. That's incredible. That speaks to the power of your brain that catches your attention. Amazing, Nathan. Here we go. Coming into the final few meters here. This is where if you're chasing, I think you've got a real advantage here. First, just the motivation of having a team right in front of you, almost like a magnetic pull brings you in. This is high speed that we're talking about. You make that
34
turn, and now you're
kilometers per hour, high speed, trying to take down the Hasselhoff.
Living
Come
up
on,
to
Knight
it.
Rider, what's happening here? Kip, come on, Kip. Push the buttons. Let's go.
They're hassling the Hoff.
No. Like, I'm trying to.
I wouldn't have thought you were even old
song.
enough to know Knight
The
Rider.
theme song. Oh man,
Yeah.
like I was probably like 6, 7, 8 years old, and you fall asleep to the TV on the couch on a school night, and nothing but the Hasselhoff.
Pretty exciting stuff.
These guys are making it happen for me. The Frisians, they better hold off. These boys as high speed are trying to live up to their name. So the line here, cruise bike. Why has he got cruise bike? What's going on, dude? You're supposed to be high speed. This guy, I don't know what's happening there, buddy. But
Boy,
it looks like
this is really kind of cool shot. Both teams look like they've got the full squad here. That would make a good marketing material ad right now, this photo of one team trying to nail back another. Finish line coming up quickly.
Take a
Great
picture. You
season,
got your camera,
guys.
Dave? You got your camera?
I'm sure Martin will tell me you could just screenshot it, dude.
Yeah,
Relax.
push F10.
Yeah.
Push F10. You see that? You see that there? Oh, there it is. There it is, Dave.
I love it.
All right.
All right,
Now,
so the Frisians now.
they made it happen. They actually opened up a gap. I think we encouraged them.
Yeah, they
on.
said they weren't
think
having it. They weren't
they
having
were
any
like-
of that.
No, Kip was like, let's go. And it
But
worked out
Kip,
for
I
him.
need a couple more K per hour.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael.
They turned on
All right.
the theme song. We should have just had that ready to go. That would have been great.
I have a feeling in the future you will. All right, so right in the time that you've said that, Nathan has already downloaded it, made a package, and has it ready to go for season 3. By the way,
I could probably play it
so-
now. It's been real quick.
so I know that folks are excited for season 3, so we're going to take. Well, we're not done actually for some of the teams here. We've got our knockout round coming up, so the discussion and the racing continues. For those teams that are wrapping up your season here, again, a big thank you for coming out and racing. I know that everyone at Zwift just loves the energy coming out of Zwift Racing League, and a huge thank you to Martin, Steven, WTRL. They have changed sport with what they're doing. There's talk about Guinness Book of World Records, Nathan, getting involved and certifying this as a very special event. I'm not exactly sure what metric it is, but I think it's the most people racing per week is is what we're doing here, and it is cool. That's talking
Absolutely,
about.
absolutely. Most people in the world on a weekly basis, racing and competing in a sporting event. And Martin actually already had it queued. I actually went and looked for it, Martin, and had it and play. Did you hear that, Dave, or do I have you on the wrong
No,
soundboard? You didn't
I'm on the
hear.
wrong
Oh,
soundboard. Yep.
gotcha. I'll. It started playing over your voice
Over
actually.
me.
Yeah,
Really?
it was perfect. It was perfect actually. You just kept on talking. It was actually great. It was
Cool as a
actually really great.
cucumber, but
There you go, Dave.
I love it. Okay, if I'm Team Moose on low drag here, I am energized to bring it home with that music. Good work, WTRL and Nathan.
Team
Zwift
Moose
Community
here.
Live.
Where are they standing in the? I think they were caught by a whole lot here today. So this is the D category for the men's, bringing it home now at this point. Ricky Bobby is out there as well. Look at this. With
This is the most creative, fun group. I mean, I got to say, with everyone in the D's, I just want to hang out with these guys.
Llama-rific. This is Seattle. Is that going to stand for Seattle or Llama-rific? The llamas, the new unicorns on the block. Let's go.
Wait. There's a men's llamas
Yeah,
team now?
It's a new thing. It's a new thing. I just got told about it like last week.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and now
I can't believe it.
It's on. So we've got the Hasselhoffs.
Well, that
We've got
is
with Kip. We've got the high speed with who knows why the one guy's got his name not right in there, and then the Llama-rifics with the men. Rat Rider up ahead. I mean, this is with low drag and Team Moose. Everybody's out here today.
Okay, Nathan, there was this thing I saw about a week ago where Steve Beckett, who we were just talking about, put up a post on LinkedIn saying that, well, there was an article, I think it was Forbes, that had the Zwifting has become a verb with people.
100%.
What we're doing, right?
I saw that.
And that is, yeah, for a brand, that is the holy grail. I mean, that's the Kleenex, the Jello, the Xerox, right? I mean, it's really, really cool when we have so many people that we love at Zwift who work so hard for this. So quintessentially, then, I think the same thing for the llamas. When you have a women's-based team in Canada that has grown to the point that there's men's teams that want some of that action, they want to be a llama team too. That's the holy grail. Llamas, you've arrived. I'm proud of our llamas.
Ricky Bobby making his way to the line. Let's go, Ricky Bobby. And this is a solid little kick here coming in from Ricky Bobby.
What a monster. Yeah.
Yeah, who wants to
I think
go
they
fast?
think they're winning a stage race. Yeah, this is a sprint for a road stage. That was a lead out.
Awesome here. As that was the
I won't mess
Talladega
around.
Nights right there. Don't mess with them.
The finish of Daytona. Yeah.
100%. Ricky Bobby made to make it happen there. Road Rash Robin now needs to grab a chain. Road Rash. I love the mixed here.
There's another nickname.
I mean, this is actually in a mixed team here. She's hammering with these boys, sticking it to them. 2.9 watts per kilogram. I want her to be the first across the line. Show us that, Road Rash. Let's go.
I think she's going to pull it off.
I mean, she's got a bat in her back pocket, and forget the bottles from the Dad's Inside Riding trainers here. Those ride-ons are going to turn into a bat right now, and she's just going to whack everybody. Let's go, Robin. 170 beats per minute. Sprinting to the line now for WTRL. These are the current results that they're trying to beat, as you can see here. High speed was 16 seconds back here. Dirty Dogs, 24.57. The Beta Cells, 35. It looks like T-Free is going to free himself from the pack now at this point. 5.1, 160 beats per minute. Goodbye, Road Rash. Going to be fading, it looks like. Not going to be coming out of the 80s right now with that game as K.A., Han, and then Robin to the line. She's got her stepping up here, actually. 2.8. All the boys are a little impolite there, boys. Come on.
But I tell you, your video game references, you feel like you just played Death Race 2000 when you're finishing up out here on a day like today.
Did that come out the same time as Pong? Was that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually very close to Pong. You actually had a literal steering wheel strapped onto a box, driving around trying to hit ghosts and coffins. All right. Well, Nathan, I think that's pretty close to everybody home out there.
Yeah, we did it. We did the things with all the stuff here for the racing. It's been a lot of fun. Um,
We're not done. We got America's
no, we've got
West to look
America's
forward
West still
to.
to happen here, and there's some pretty good battles going on there as well. So we're definitely going to have some fun with that one. Make sure to tune in for that. That's going to be in a little bit less than an hour for America's West. I'm actually going to be sitting here, sticking around. Kate had to cancel on the day. She had a double booking with some family stuff happening. So it's going to be me and Dave on America's West. Let's go ahead and take a quick look, though, at the results and how things ended up playing out amongst the men's results. And we did say that next we're going to be unstoppable, and we were absolutely wrong. So we ate our words. And it looks like
I've
Royal
been wrong
City,
before.
3906, amazing. You know, where were they this whole season? I'm like, I feel like they figured something out later in the season here. Great to see Royal City showing up. I do know that they are they have a very strong in real life representation on the bike, perhaps ramping things up and looking towards season 3, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. I will certainly be remembering that they're going to be a team to watch for the future. ATP Racing Hydrogen will take the silver medal in second. And this was so close out there. This was the battle that we were highlighting today, ATP and Cryo. So you can see now that it was very close there. Endurance Works jumps into the mix, and that's a great job by Endurance Works to finish third and take the bronze. As they'll bump Cryogen down into fourth place today, they'll get the chocolate medal for fourth. And another, though, spirited effort out there. That one went back and forth. HTFU in fifth, next in sixth. Vision Americas East, that's going to be seventh. Dirt Alert for eighth. SLF Motion in ninth, and then BMTR. That's going to round out your top 10 for the day. And this also wraps up the season as well here. So that's the A's. Nathan, I bet you got the B's ready to go, fresh off the press.
ATP Racing Neon comes on through with the Dirty Diesels coming on through in second. So Neon taking it by 10 seconds there. Our Northern Rhinos in third, 34 seconds back. 1 second difference between them and the Dirty Ducks. And then the Rulers Polo Velo come on through for fifth. It's going to be on the rivet. Oost B in sixth. BMTR B2 in seventh. Cryogen Huddlecom in eighth. It's going to be Red Peloton B and ZHQ Rockets B. That's why Steve was sitting and hanging out at the finish line, because he got a top 10 overall, 3.7 watts per kilogram, 149 back. That's the B's.
Here are the C's then, and it was a 45.07 to take the win for the herd of Mad Mustangs. Silver medal going to ATP Racing Hydrogen. And then bronze for Herd Mentality. ATP Racing Freon in fourth. It's Dirty Grinders in fifth. RR Nuclear Rhinos for sixth. Apogee Racing at seventh. WTRL SQL in eighth. TFC Mojo for ninth. And then you had the Team Type 1 Carbonauts in 10th. Great racing to all of our C's. Thanks for being out there.
And for the men in the D category, it is going to be ATP Racing Helium for first place, followed up by High Speed in second. We watched them to the line. Nice job. That's almost making a catch, actually. Dirty Dogs are coming on through for third. It's going to be Team Type 1 Beta Cells in fourth. The Hoff with Kip, they made it to fifth with a 111 there. Herd of Dainty Paints. What colors are the Dainty Paints there? Sixth place coming on through, and it's going to be Wadi Inc. Patriot. For some reason, I have like a summer paint job. I don't know. Anyway,
it's a horse. It's a horse. I'm 90% sure.
Is it?
Yeah,
course,
it's just the way this works.
Good call there.
Yeah.
Good call. Okay. Yep, got it.
Although, watch, I'll be wrong, Nathan. Yeah.
Yeah, well, a little bit
That's
more.
What the internet's for. You let me know. Go ahead and let me know.
A little more sunscreen for the Sunburums because they were 4 minutes back, but they had on for eighth there. Lamarific coming on through the men's team in ninth, and Low Drag keeping it on the down low, coming in for 10th place. Now, for the women's and women's result coming on in, it was Team Riot at the top.
Living up to their name, do not disappoint. 43-30 for the win. Congratulations on a great season to Team Riot. Cryogen Gallopin takes the silver today. Absque Finesse for third. Agawat taking fourth. This is just such a fun group of racers. I'm so proud of the efforts that you all made out there. Stages cycling came a long way this season. I loved your comments, Nathan. They ended up in fifth. Sisu, I raced like a girl do, in sixth. Wadi Inc. Super Kitty in seventh. Royal City Cycling, WA1, they're in eighth. Misunderstood in ninth. And Core Sports round out our top 10 for the Division 1A women.
And for the B category, we've got Agawatt Extra. Putting in extra watts for 5 seconds over Cryogen Marie Blanc. It's going to be Marie Blanc in second. There, ATP Stingers in third. Lay Watts Sisters, JZQ CB in fourth. Herd of hummingbirds flapping. Oh my goodness, only 0.6 tenths of a second.
Whoa.
Behind the Spinnabuns. Spinnabuns just needed to get out of that mall just a little bit quicker and onto the bikes. It looks like, as it's now going to be CCNS Ladies in seventh, Fearless Furiosas in eighth, BRT Fiery Kittens in ninth, and Stages Cycling WB rounding out the top 10. What happened with the A category there? Real quickly, the Stages. I wanted to say fifth place. I did want to say a congratulations. I know I'm going back for a second here, but that is they really rode out of their skin tonight. And I just want to shout them out real quickly because
that's cool.
That was quite the ride for them. They really put something together, and being newer to the sport of Zwift racing, I really think they've come a long way this season. I'm looking forward to what they do in season 3.
I know a shout out from you means a lot to them, so thanks, Nathan. That's extremely cool. I'm going to take the C's from the top with the Herd of Otters. One, living up to it, taking the win, gold medal. That's a great job. ATP Racing Hive for silver. Agawatt Fire, that's a bronze medal for them on the day. CCNS Merry Cranksters for fourth. Wadi Inc. Flash in fifth. Margaritas for sixth. Sisu I Race Like a Girl Atalanta in seventh. Z Tsunami in eighth. And then the No Drama Llamas in ninth. Fearlessly takes 10. But at the end of the day, the Llamas, they were all over the planet crushing it. So great job to our women's C's. A lot of spirit in this group. Look forward to seeing you all back for season 3.
And into the D's. Revo Kit Kats. They take it down. Why am I double? How do you say the Kit Kat double? I can't remember the commercial now. Man. ATP Racing Buzz coming in. Do you know what I'm talking about, Dave?
When they, I'm not a big Kit Kat person.
But there was a Kit Kat commercial. Chat, help me out. Come on. Oh,
someone will be there for you.
It was such a good one, too. And it was like, snap.
Is it a get your hands off of my Kit Kat vibe?
Yeah,
that was sort of
it's something along ATP Racing Buzz. They were 3 seconds back. Llama stayed with third. Herd of blistering Bobcats. They come on through, burning everybody in the fourth. It's going to be WTRL drafting Dinos in fifth. Herd of blazing Bobcats, followed up by the herd of bounty Bobcats there for sixth and seventh. Laywa Sisters, JZQC for D category in eighth. WTRL drafting Dinos 2 in ninth. And Sisu, I Raced Like a Girl, Pele, trying to make their debut in Pele 2. Is going to be in 10th. No, they're not actually. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be a Pele.
Oh.
It's a documentary, so they can't do a second one, right? Have
a break. Have a Kit Kat. That's their
And it's
their
like
tagline.
a snap thing. Who
Well, then the
messaged that
person
to you
would
just
snap
now?
the bar, have a break. Yeah. Yeah. I think you need some sugar. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I had plenty of sugar. I think chat's like, no, don't give Nathan any more sugar or coffee right now. Next level, ATP Racing Hydrogen.
Give Nathan a Kit Kat.
Wait a second. Hydrogen pulled it off? I didn't even wow. That is amazing. Look at this here. ATP Racing Hydrogen somehow grabbed a few more seconds over Cryogen at the end, and they will be going to the playoffs this weekend. Consistency, I think, was key. They ended up with more riders across the line, Dave, at the end of the day. There was only 4 from Cryogen. You saw the separations throughout the rest.
And it kept happening.
Exactly.
Right. And so obviously they weren't having an ideal ride. We were surprised to see that they were holding on even a slight advantage at 24K, but ultimately ATP Racing kept it there, kept it all together and eked it out. So yeah, that was really interesting. Extremely fun to watch, I guess. And CryoGen will have their day. They had a tremendous season, so I knew that we would have some heartbreak today as well, Nathan, and that's what makes sport so important. It's something in culture that we don't win all the time. Even the best teams don't win all the time. How you respond when you don't win, that's how you define yourself. And we all come away better people for making this effort. It's that old the gladiator in the arena. If you have the courage to get out there and race, you're doing better than 99.99% of people, and you don't need to take any crap from them about how you race because they don't even do it. So don't worry about them.
Yeah, 100%. And great job to everybody out there putting that effort in, like you're saying there, Dave. That's really what this is all about, showing up. We've had thousands upon thousands of people showing up week in and week out, putting the power into the pedals for their teams. That's what this 8 weeks of racing has been all about. We've got one more race to go for all of the categories in the America's West divisions. Make sure to show up for that. We are live a little over a half an hour from now for that broadcast. Make sure to hit those follow buttons, subscribe, turn on notifications. It helps out the channel a lot. You'll know anytime that we do go live. Make sure to go over to WTRL.racing for everything that's happening with WTRL. It's not just the Zwift Racing League. They got the Duathlon League. They've got the TTT on Thursdays that we're going to be broadcasting, number 98 now going on, if I'm not incorrect. I mean, we've got a lot happening with WTRL. Make sure to check that out. And a lot of plans for what's happening between now and season 3 of ZRL that are in the works. So always to get notifications on that. Those follow buttons help a ton. All right.
Okay, I'm not going to
Go ahead,
leave
Dave.
without getting this correct for you. It's
Yeah.
give me a break, break me off a
Me
piece
off
of
a
that
piece of that
Kit
Kit
Kat
Kat bar. I got
That's
it. There it is. No, as soon as you did it, as soon as you said, give me a break, break me off a piece of that Kit Cat bar.
we got
There
it.
it
At
is.
the
We
end of the
got it.
day,
We got it.
it's
Who?
not how you
No,
start, it's how you
was that
finish.
you? Was that just your memory, or was somebody telling you, give me a break, give me a break? Right? That's what I want to know.
Somebody wrote me a message, and then when I saw it all written out like
Yeah,
that, the tune
Give me
came
a
to
break.
me.
Give me a
Yeah.
break. I'm going to get in trouble, and they're going to take this down because of copyright. All right.
Hey, maybe we sold a Kit Kat bar. Who knows? But I do know that you all out there are awesome. Nathan, thanks for all you do, man. It's been a great season.
All right, everybody. We'll see you in about a half an hour. As always, everybody, right on.